My name is Esther Duran. I am the Innovation and Design Director for the Scott Morgan Foundation, and that is a charity where we use design and technology to help people with extreme disabilities. But then I have another hat, and that is the Chief Design Officer for this digital agency called Zone. And at Zone, we believe that design, when we do it properly, we can help defining a brighter future. And this is what I want to talk to you about. But before we create a brighter future, we need to create awareness, because awareness is really, really important for change. And today, I would like to create some awareness here with all these beautiful faces. So let's begin. How can we think sustainability first? So, awareness. When we want to create change, awareness is the foundation for everything. So let me take you through a few examples throughout the history of how awareness have changed radically the way we think. So, this. Do you remember, well, maybe we are very young, but I remember still taking a plane and people smoking in the back of the plane. So I'm not that young. But yeah, do you remember when actually doctors were advertising cigarettes? Even dentists, if you wanted to have a white smile, you really had to smoke. It's funny, right? Even physicians were like, yes, you need to smoke because it's really good for you. Now, it took us how many decades to create awareness? All those studies, research, and of course a lot of fights with big companies to realize that actually cigarettes are not that good for you. The same happened with plastic. I mean, plastic is a great invention, don't get me wrong, but I think overproduction has taken a course. So, you know, it took a few decades to actually understand the ramifications of what was going on to be a big, big problem for society. But, you know, everything was about convenience. So, you know, who cares? Everything is very convenient for us. Even babies were coming wrapping in plastic. That's how good plastic was. Yeah? And of course, who doesn't know Tupperware? I mean, I remember in the 80s, my mother having a Tupperware party, you know, with the neighbors and friends. It was a big, big event. I mean, it was the dream of every single housewife. It was like, oh my gosh, I want to have those Tupperwares. All colors, all shapes. They were apparently good for everything. So, you know, plastic, as an invention, started in the 20th century, 1900s. And it took us how many decades to understand the irreparable ramifications of plastic. So once again, awareness is extremely, extremely important. Sometimes it takes decades, but right now I'm not too sure if we have decades to spare. So we could apply the same rationale with water, you know, the pollution that we have in the water, with the landfills, fast fashion, mass production, convenience, convenience, convenience. And the list obviously goes on and on and on. I only have 15 minutes, so I can really go on. This photo is the Atacama Desert in the northern part of Chile. More than 19,000 tons of fabric gets dumped every single year. 59,000 tons. That's a lot. But we can see it, you know. It's something that you see, something that, you know, textile, so we can touch. But what happens when pollution, you can't see the pollution. What happened with digital pollution? Do we see it? We are now all hooked up, you know, with our mobile phones, our computers. So what happens when we human beings, we have an abstract concept in front of us, which is digital sustainability, digital pollution? How can we understand that? It is not an abstract concept anymore. The internet generates 3.7% of global emissions, and that is the equivalent of all air traffic in the world. Now this is not abstract. Now you can understand what it is. And you know what's the scary part? That by 2025, it's going to be double. This is not abstract. If the internet were a country, it will be the third largest consumer of energy in the world. The first one is China. The second one is the USA. The third one is the internet. So let me ask you a question. How many emails, roughly, do you delete a day? I don't know, think about it. 10, 20, 30? I don't know, how many? 10? How many? 100? Deleting 30 emails every day, you will use the same energy as having one light bulb on for 24 hours. If we take things on a bigger scale, if every person in France deleted 50 old emails, this will be the equivalent of switching off 1.6 billion light bulbs for 1 hour. 1.6 billion. Now it will be the equivalent on turning off the Eiffel Tower, the lights, for 24 hours. And over more or less half a day of zero electricity consumption for the whole of Paris. And I put the example of Paris because, you know, it's the city of lights. So, I don't want to be negative because I'm a very positive person. And I do believe that everything is up for redesign. And it's amazing because we have great opportunity. So the first thing that we need to redesign is design itself. Because all ways of working, they are not working anymore. So we need to understand that design is no longer about, you know, designing logos, pretty pictures, or even brand guidelines. It's about responsibility and solving problems. So it's about zooming in, zooming out, empathy, understanding. So let's have a look and see how we can, you know, turn the narrative. So how design can help with digital sustainability. Design is one of the main enablers. So 60% of any sustainable solution is covered during the design phase. So 60%, so it's pretty important. So we are starting with circular design in fashion, food, packaging, supply chain. Let's try to see if we can use the same rationale for digital. We need to stop human centricity. We are all about, you know, human centricity, customer centricity, but actually, we humans, we are not in the center of everything anymore. You know, the earth is not flat. We need to start looking at how we can implement other themes like animals, community, nature, the planet. So when we are designing personas, personas is no longer John, 35 years of age, single, earning 35,000 K per year. Personas are also animals, the environment. So how can we, when we are designing the customer journey, implement other entities that they are not just us? How can we design with these entities in mind? So when we are designing products and services, we also take them into consideration so we don't have any unattended consequences after. Of course, if you want innovation, you need to have multidisciplinary teams, very diverse. We talked about inclusion and diversity earlier. It's very important. Have people from all backgrounds. Implement sustainability, inclusivity, and accessibility at all times. No longer clients come to me and say, hey, can we have accessibility, but we don't want to pay extra. It shouldn't be extra. Accessibility is not extra. You know, you don't need to pay for it. It's embedded in the design process. Same with sustainability, same with inclusivity. So how can we make sure from research, implementation, design, we take care of it? Now, make sure you design with circularity in mind as well. So, reduce, reuse, and recycle. So how can we apply those three for digital design? Reduce, how many versions at the end of a project do you have? Version 1.3, version 1.100? You don't need them. You don't need to archive all of those versions. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to go back there. Reuse. Set your component library. You can reuse it, developers, designers, marketing team, and it will grow organically with your brand, with your customers. It will make consistency and brand push. So, you know, reuse as much as you can. And recycle. This is one that still we are looking for it in digital sustainability. How can we recycle the designs that we do? So my team and I, we are looking at this board, and I can guarantee you in the next talk, if you come and see me, I will talk about how you can recycle digital design. But for today, I think we're gonna just quit it. I hope you enjoy the talk, and thank you so much for listening to me.